if not full on hippies, definitely like, they were, it was, I was born in 1968, so I was, a product of the summer of love, I guess you could say. Every time I get in the car, I'd hear this song in my head, and I didn't know it at the time. Later, I figured out it was the solos from Freebird, because like I think that happened too, because both my parents worked, and then my mom was also trying to go to school. But there was a couple across the street that used to watch us, and they were always listening to Southern rock. So I think that's kind of where that probably came from. And then like my parents, for like one of our Easter egg hunts, uh, like one of the prizes that we was hidden was an Allman Brothers record. So, but yeah, and then like my parents, especially my mom, were really into music. So, I mean, I grew like the band is like the soundtrack of my childhood and like stuff like that. So, like I loved Willie Nelson, but then when I actually bought my first record, it was like AC/DC. It's funny. I mean, the moment I heard AC/DC, I was like, oh, I just want to play rock and roll, but I didn't actually get my first guitar until I think I was 16.
So you're self-taught, huh?
Yeah, no, I never. Yeah, briefly went to a jazz harmony class
Cool.
at North Seattle Community College, but I didn't stay long, and I didn't. That's one of the things I wish. Like, oh, it was a class I enjoyed. Like that was between, like there was my first band, which was demonstrably awful, and then my second band that was like we were kind of getting all right, but then you know, it imploded or fell apart or whatever. Like my first book was about blues, and like I consider myself blues based. I mean, I love American music, like I like like blues, jazz, country,
Mhm.
folk, whatever hillbilly, whatever country. You know, I love American music because none of it is like high culture. It's all like from you know, like it was all like the Outcasts and the whatever, like the music of like liminal spaces, like the hills and the swamps and the rivers and the desert. It's always, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's funny, when I first started, I was kind of like, ooh, the recording part's the cool part, and now I'm like, the live part's the cool part. The lineup determines how the song's gonna go, and then like it's always gonna. I like the fact that the show is like different every time, even if it's the same song.
Do you guys use set lists?
Yeah, we do. We usually have a set list, and then a few extras, and then over the course of the tour, it'll kind of fall into place, like like
Mhm.
the way to put it together. I mean, to me, magic is like a like it's. I mean, like obviously it's. Not to sound like the cranky old dude, but like I feel like music has been increasingly debased, but at the same time, like I feel like music is like such a part of the human experience, and is like man's original, like, for lack of a better word. I mean, I'm gonna say the word technology, but like I don't want people to confuse it with like what we call technology. Like I feel like humanity had these things that tied them to the universe and to the natural world, and that we've like gradually like given them all up for this idea of technology. Um, like we've replaced our natural abilities with objects and machines. I mean, it's funny because I love electric guitar. Electric circuits are to me funny too because they're magic, really. Like we act like we know what electricity is and how it works, but we really actually don't, and it's like way weirder than like, you know, everyone thinks they always do the circuit diagram like it's like a pipeline and it flows, but it's like actually electricity is present through the entire circuit at all times. It's not like it doesn't like move like water through like a hose, but that's like the idea that they try to tell people to get them to like that it's actually like instantly and everywhere in the circuit, and that's gone. Well, and then the vibrations organize the molecules of the instrument. It's like everything in the universe is vibrating at some kind of, it's all vibration. We happen to use some of it to see, and we use some of it to hear, and some of it to talk, and but it's all moving, and like not really, things are not as like solid